Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive. We are so glad you are here with us today.
Yes, it is great to be back. And today we are shifting gears entirely.
Really are.
Usually we are sprinting through stacks of research papers, right? Trying to connect all these complex dots in technology or history. But today we are hitting the brakes.
We're slowing way down because today is a very special deep dive. It is an English learning session.
Exactly.
We know a lot of you listening are looking to refine your English language skills. You want to move from just getting by to really mastering the nuance of English, especially the everyday words.
Right. And the best way to do that isn't always through flashcards or boring grammar drills. Sometimes it is just through observation.
Active looking.
Active looking, yes.
Yeah.
We have a single photograph in front of us today. Just one image.
One single image of a workspace.
Yeah.
A desk. And our mission today is to describe it to you. But we aren't going to just list what we see.
No, that would be too simple.
We want to really explore the vocabulary of this space. We want to talk about the vibe, the culture of work, and teach you the specific words you can use to describe your own environment.
Because we are aiming for that intermediate to advanced level of description, but we are going to walk you through it very slowly, step by step.
So let's set the ground rules for today's deep dive.
Yeah.
We are going to speak clearly. We're going to take our time.
And we are going to act as your personal guides.
Exactly. If we use a tricky word or an idiom, we will stop. And we will unpack it.
Ooh, unpack it. That is a great phrasal verb right out of the gate.
It is, isn't it?
To unpack something means to examine it in detail, like taking items out of a suitcase one by one to look at them.
So shall we unpack this image?
Let's do it. So to you listening right now, I want you to imagine a scene with us.
Or, if you're able to, you can look at the image provided in the show notes.
But if you are driving or taking a walk right now, just listen. Let us paint the picture for you.
So what is the big picture here? What are we looking at as a whole?
Well, the high-level summary is that we are looking at a curated workspace.
A curated workspace.
Yeah.
Curated. That is a very sophisticated word.
It is. C-U-R-A-T-E-D. Curated.
What does that mean exactly in this context?
To curate something means to select and organize items very carefully. Think of our museum. A museum curator chooses exactly which paintings go on the wall, right?
They don't just throw everything up there randomly.
Exactly. So when we say this is a curated workspace, we mean it wasn't thrown together by accident. Everything sitting on this desk was chosen carefully by the person who works here.
It looks very intentional. And it looks like a home office.
Yes, a home office. That is a term that has taken on a whole new meaning over the last few years.
Absolutely. I mean, 10 years ago, a home office might have just been a dark corner of a basement. A place with an old chair and a filing cabinet.
But now, it is a sanctuary. It is a primary place of business for so many people. And this specific space we are looking at, it looks very bright.
It does. It feels incredibly bright and clean.
Let's actually talk about that lighting first, because lighting completely sets the mood of a room.
It really does.
Yeah.
So where is the light coming from here?
The lighting here is stunning. It is coming from the top right of the image. You can just see the edge of a window frame.
Ah, so it is a window.
Yes. So this is what we call natural light.
Natural light. We talk about natural light a lot in real estate and interior design. Why is natural light considered better than, say, a lamp?
Well, vocabulary-wise, we would contrast natural light with artificial light or fluorescent light, those big buzzing lights you get in an office building.
Yes, fluorescent lights are terrible.
They are, but natural light, which is sunlight, has a full spectrum of color. It helps with our circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythms. That sounds very scientific. That is our internal body clock, right?
Exactly right. Natural light tells your body to be awake and alert. If you work in a dark room all day, you just get tired.
You feel sluggish.
But here, the light is washing over the desk. It makes the whole space feel airy.
Airy.
Yeah.
A-I-R-Y. That is a fantastic adjective for our listeners.
It is.
It means the space feels spacious, light, and breathable, almost like there is a fresh breeze. It is the exact opposite of stuffy or cramped.
Correct. Nobody wants a stuffy home office. Now let's look at the desk itself, the actual surface we are working on.
Okay. It is white. Very white.
It is pristine white. Pristine meaning perfectly clean and untouched.
I have to admit, I am looking at my own desk right now while we talk, and I see a coffee ring stain. I see a stack of old mail, 3 different pens that probably don't work.
It happens to the best of us.
But this desk in the photo is completely different.
This brings us to a major concept in modern design and productivity. Minimalism.
Minimalism. We hear this word all the time on the internet, but what does minimalism really mean when we're talking about a workspace?
In a workspace context, minimalism isn't just about having an empty room. It is really about removing friction.
Removing friction, meaning removing things that slow you down.
Yes, it is about removing clutter.
Clutter. C-L-U-T-T-E-R. Clutter. That is a great vocabulary word. Clutter is all that random stuff that accumulates over time. The junk, the papers, the tangled wires.
Right. There is a famous phrase in English, a cluttered desk is a cluttered mind.
A cluttered desk is a cluttered mind. I love that.
The idea is that if your visual field, what your eyes are seeing while you work, is messy, then your brain has to work a lot harder. It has to constantly filter out all those distractions.
That makes total sense. So this perfectly clean white desk acts as a blank canvas.
A blank canvas, exactly, like what a painter uses before they start painting.
It implies potential. It implies that you are completely ready to create something new.
It signifies readiness.
Yeah.
When you sit down at a desk like this, there are zero distractions. You are just ready to work.
Okay, so we have established the overall vibe. We have a bright, airy, minimalist home office.
Let's zoom in now.
Yes, let's zoom in. I'm going to look at the left side of the desk first. Let's call this the tech corner.
The tech corner. This is essentially the engine room of the workspace.
So what do we see on the left? Obviously, we see a computer. But let's be more specific for our learners. It is a laptop.
It is a laptop, and it looks very much like an Apple MacBook.
Now, why is it important to distinguish between a laptop and a desktop computer?
Because it creates a very specific image of the user. We should talk about the vocabulary of mobility here.
Mobility, being able to move around.
Right. This isn't a huge, heavy desktop tower that is chained to the floor. This is a highly portable device. It folds up. You can put it in a bag.
So it suggests the person working here is flexible. They might even be a digital nomad.
Oh, that is a big buzzword right now, a digital nomad.
Let's break that down for the listener. Digital is obviously computers and the internet. What is a nomad?
Historically, a nomad is a person who travels from place to place. They have no permanent home.
So a digital nomad is someone who wanders or travels the world while working purely from their laptop.
Precisely. You see them in coffee shops in Bali or Mexico City. Even though this specific laptop is on a very nice desk right now, the potential to leave is always there.
Now let's look at the screen itself. The laptop is open.
It is open, and it is not showing a boring spreadsheet. It is not showing Microsoft Excel.
Definitely not. And that is a crucial clue to figuring out who uses this desk.
It looks like high-end graphic design software, maybe Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop.
We can see all these little toolbars and menus on the left side of the screen. And right in the center of the screen, there are big, bold letters.
This brings up another great word, typography.
Typography. Can you define typography for our listeners?
Absolutely. Typography is the art and technique of arranging type. Type means letters and characters.
So it is about making written language legible, readable, and visually appealing.
Exactly. It isn't just writing words. It is designing the words,
Yeah.
choosing the fonts, the space and the curves of the letters.
The text on this screen is just black and white. It's very high contrast. It actually looks like a modern poster.
It looks very avant-garde.
Avant-garde. That is a French term, right? But we use it in English all the time.
We do. We use it in English to mean something that is highly experimental or innovative, especially in art and design.
So all these clues, the MacBook, the design software, the typography, this tells us the user is a creative professional.
A creative.
Boy, creative is an adjective. But we use it as a noun now, don't we?
Yes, we do. In the professional world, we refer to designers, writers, videographers, and artists simply as creatives. With an S, he is a creative. They are a team of creatives.
That is a very authentic way to speak about modern jobs. So this is definitely a creative's workspace.
Now look closely at how the user interacts with this laptop. We have the keyboard, obviously.
Yes, the keys for typing.
But look down below the keyboard. Look at the trackpad.
The trackpad is huge. That is the flat, square area where you move your finger to control the mouse on the screen.
And the way the laptop is positioned right at an angle, it is definitely the center of attention on that left side.
But right next to it, connected to this idea of the tech corner, is something else. A pair of headphones.
Let's talk about these headphones, because they tell a story, too. They aren't those little white earbuds that everyone wears on the subway.
No, the little ones that go inside your ear are called in-ear monitors or just earbuds. These are over-ear headphones.
Over-ear, because they completely cover the outside of your ears, and they are substantial. They look very plush.
Plush. P-L-U-S-H. Plush. That means very soft and luxurious, right?
Yes, very comfortable, like a soft cushion. You could wear them all day. And notice the color.
They aren't black. They aren't bright neon green. They're this lovely beige or maybe a light green color.
We talked about the desk being stark white. The headphones are beige. The laptop is silver. This all forms a very specific color palette.
A neutral palette.
Yes, neutral colors, whites, beiges, grays. It is very calming to the eye.
But functionally speaking, why do you think a creative working alone from home needs such big headphones?
I think this touches heavily on the modern concept of deep work.
Deep work. Ah, yes. That is Cal Newport's famous concept.
For those who don't know, deep work is the ability to focus completely without any distraction on a cognitively demanding task.
So really hard brain work.
Exactly. Even if you live completely alone, the world is still noisy, there is traffic outside the window, the refrigerator in the kitchen is humming.
A neighbor's dog is barking.
Always. So these big headphones likely have a feature called active noise cancellation.
Active noise cancellation. That is a great technical term for our learners to know.
It is everywhere now. It means the headphones use tiny microphones to listen to the outside world, and then they produce an invisible sound wave to cancel that outside noise out.
It creates a sonic bubble.
A sonic bubble. I absolutely love that imagery.
You put these plush headphones on, and the rest of the world just disappears.
Yeah.
It is just you, the silence and the topography on your screen.
It is also a psychological signal to the brain. We call this a trigger or a cue.
Like a habit cue.
Yes. Physically putting the headphones over your ears is the physical cue that tells your brain, okay, it is time to focus now. Work time has begun.
It effectively blocks out all distractions.
And distraction is the ultimate enemy of the creative worker. So these headphones act as a shield. They protect the user's valuable attention.
So we have the laptop for creation and the headphones for protection.
That is a great way to summarize the left side.
Now let's slide our eyes slowly to the center of the desk.
The absolute center.
I personally like to call this area the fuel station.
The fuel station. That is very clever. The machine, the laptop, needs electricity to run, but the human being needs sustenance.
Sustenance. That is a very fancy word for the food and drink that keeps a person alive and functioning.
Exactly. Sustenance. And what is the primary fuel of choice we see sitting right here?
It is coffee.
It is almost a cliche, isn't it? The busy designer with their fancy cup of coffee. But let's really describe this coffee.
It is sitting in a mug, not a paper-to-go cup, a ceramic mug.
Ceramic means it is made of fired clay. It looks very handmade. It is not perfectly smooth like mass-produced factory glass. It has a speckled texture.
It looks highly tactile.
Tactile. T-A-C-T-I-L-E. Tactile. That is a fantastic word.
What does tactile mean for our learners?
Tactile means something relates strongly to the sense of touch. When something is tactile, you can easily imagine what it feels like in your own hand just by looking at it.
Yes, I can imagine that cup. It is probably very warm, it has a slightly rough, earthy surface.
And let's look inside the cup, because this isn't just cheap black sludge poured from a diner pot.
No, this is definitely third-wave coffee.
Whoa, okay. We need to unpack that phrase. Third wave coffee. What are the waves?
Well, the first wave was a long time ago. It was just instant coffee crystals in a jar. You drank it purely for the caffeine to wake up.
Okay. And the second wave?
The second wave was the big rise of coffee chains in the 90s, like Starbucks. Huge menus, flavored sugary syrups, and mass production.
I see. So what is the third wave?
Third wave coffee treats coffee as an artisanal product, like fine wine. You actually care about what farm the bean came from, you care about the roast profile, and you care deeply about the presentation.
And we can clearly see that high-end presentation right here. Look at the foam on top of the coffee.
There is a perfect little heart shape drawn right into the milk foam.
This is called latte art.
Latte art. It is such a small, temporary detail, but what does it really add to the vibe of this workspace?
It adds a huge sense of coziness. It makes the space feel human. In Danish culture, they actually have a specific word for this feeling. They call it hygge.
Hygge. How do you spell that?
H-Y-G-G-E. Hygge.
We have really borrowed that word in English over the last decade, haven't we?
We have. We use it to describe a quality of deep coziness and comfortable conviviality. That warm feeling of pure contentment.
Sitting in a sweater with a warm drink, that is hygge.
Exactly. This cup of artisan coffee with the little foam heart, it creates a brief moment of warmth in the middle of a hard work day.
It makes drinking the coffee a daily ritual.
Yes. The coffee break isn't just about injecting caffeine into your veins. It is a mindful ritual to reset your stressed brain.
But a human being cannot live on coffee alone. We need real food. Look slightly to the right of the coffee. the bottom right corner of the picture.
Ah, the snack.
It is a bowl of fresh fruit.
And notice the container again. It is not a plastic Tupperware container. It is a beautifully carved wooden bowl.
So we have the stark white desk, the rough ceramic cup, and the smooth wooden bowl.
These are all natural materials.
It heavily contrasts with the cold aluminum metal of the laptop on the left.
That is a very keen observation. We are seeing a deliberate contrast between the organic and the synthetic.
Organic versus synthetic. The fruit and the wood are organic. They grew in nature. The computer and the headphones are synthetic. They were manufactured in a factory.
Let's actually practice some very specific, simple vocabulary with the fruit itself. I see 3 distinct kinds of fruit in this wooden bowl.
Okay, let's identify them for our beginners.
First, we have the bright red ones with the tiny seeds on the outside. Those are strawberries.
Strawberries. Next, we have the smooth green spheres.
Those are grapes. Green grapes.
And finally, the small, dark, round ones sprinkled on top.
Those are blueberries.
Now let's think about the choice of snack. Why this specific bowl of fruit? Why not a bag of greasy potato chips or a candy bar?
Well, potato chips are what we call processed food. This fruit is whole food. It suggests the person who works here is very health conscious.
They care about their body?
They want sustained energy for their workday.
Right. If you eat a candy bar, the refined sugar gives you a massive energy spike. But then an hour later, you crash. You feel exhausted.
But fresh fruit gives you a slow, steady release of natural energy.
We often talk about this type of food as brain food.
Brain food. Foods that literally help your brain concentrate better. Blueberries especially are famous in health circles for being full of antioxidants.
Antioxidants, that is a great advanced nutrition word. It means compounds that protect your body's cells from damage.
So this user is actively trying to optimize their biological body for work in the exact same way they optimize their computer software.
That is a really fascinating way to look at it. They are essentially hacking their biology for maximum productivity.
Biohacking.
Biohacking. We are getting very deep into the modern tech bro vocabulary right now.
We are, but it absolutely fits. It completely fits the psychological profile of the person who curated this desk.
Okay, so to review our map of the desk so far, we have the tech on the left, we have the fuel in the center. Now let's move all the way to the right side of the image.
The right side.
I personally like to call this area the inspiration corner.
The inspiration corner? Why do you call it that?
Because even the most intensely focused worker doing deal work eventually needs a break. They need to rest their eyes and look at something beautiful.
That is very true. So what do we see over there? We see a pile of things. But pile sounds a bit messy. What is the specific English word for a very neat, tidy pile?
A stack.
Yeah.
S-T-A-C-K, stack.
Yes. If these items were thrown together messily, we might call it a heap or a jumble. But this is a perfectly aligned, neat stack.
And what exactly is in this stack? They look like books from the side, but they're a bit too thin.
They are magazines, but these are not your cheap grocery store magazines. These are high-end, thick indie magazines.
Indie. I-N-D-I-E. That is short for independent, right?
Yes, independent, meaning they aren't published by a massive mainstream media corporation. They cater to a niche audience.
We can actually read the titles on the spines. The top magazine is titled Kinfolk,
Kinfolk.
and the bottom one underneath it is Monocle.
These are real, very well-known magazines. They are quite famous in the global design and lifestyle world.
So what does having a copy of Kinfolk sitting on your desk tell us about this person?
Kinfolk is widely considered the Bible of the slow living movement.
There is that phrase again, slow living. We touched on that with the coffee.
Slow living is a very popular lifestyle movement right now. It actively encourages a much slower, more mindful approach to everyday life.
So it focuses on things like community, simplicity, and taking the time to truly enjoy small things.
Like slowly drinking that cup of artisan coffee instead of rushing out the door.
So wait, isn't there a huge irony here?
How so? What is the irony?
Well, they are using a blazing fast, high-tech laptop to do intense commercial graphic design work, probably pushing hard against a strict client deadline.
Right.
But literally inches away, they have a magazine preaching about slow living.
Oh, that is the ultimate modern tension. We deeply crave the slow, simple life, but we are forced to work in the hyperfast digital lane.
So the magazine is almost like a reminder. It is aspirational.
Aspirational, yes, meaning it represents the life they want to have or what they are constantly striving for, even if they aren't living it perfectly right now.
It is their ideal. What about the other magazine, Monocle?
Monocle is a bit different. It is mostly about global affairs, international business design, and culture. It is a very cosmopolitan read.
So reading Monocle tells the world that this person considers themselves a global citizen.
Exactly. They care about what is happening in Tokyo and London and Paris.
This is so interesting. So the physical objects you choose to keep on your desk act like identity badges. They silently tell anyone looking exactly who you are.
Or at the very least, they project the person you want to remind yourself to be.
Now, sitting proudly directly on top of this stack of aspirational magazines is a beautiful object.
It is a vase.
Let's check the pronunciation on that. Some people say vase. Some people say vase.
Yes, V-A-S-E. In American English, we typically say vase. In British English, you will often hear vase. Both are perfectly fine.
And what is inside the vase?
Inside is a gorgeous, fresh bouquet.
Bouquet. That is a tricky word to spell for learners. It is a French loanword. B-O-U-Q-U-E-T, bouquet.
Yes, the T is silent. It just means a specifically arranged bunch of cut flowers.
These flowers look like soft pink roses, or maybe a flower called lisianthus. They look incredibly delicate.
Having flowers here allows us to talk about the psychological concept of biophilic design.
Ooh, biophilic design. That is a big academic concept. Let's break that down for the audience.
Yeah.
Biophilic.
Let's look at the root words. Bio means life or living things.
Like biology.
Exactly. And philia is ancient Greek for love.
So biophilia literally translates to the love of living things.
Right. The biophilia hypothesis suggests that human beings have a deep, innate biological tendency to seek connections with nature and other forms of life.
Because we evolved in nature. We didn't evolve sitting in square white rooms staring at glowing screens.
Exactly. So biophilic design in architecture and interior decorating means intentionally bringing the outdoors inside.
Like having a houseplant near your bed. Or flowers on your desk.
Yes, and scientific studies have actually proven that simply having a plant or fresh flowers in your visual field while you work actively lowers your stress levels.
It physically lowers your cortisol.
Cortisol, yes. Cortisol is the primary stress hormone in the human body.
When you are staring intensely at a computer screen all day long, worried about your deadlines, your cortisol slowly goes up.
You feel tense. But when you turn your head and look at a beautiful, natural flower, your brain relaxes. Your cortisol drops.
So the flowers on this desk aren't just there to look pretty. They are literal therapy.
They are highly functional decoration. They intentionally provide the user with a visual break.
And let's talk about the visual impact of the color. We have spent this whole time talking about all these calm, neutral colors. White, beige, gray, silver, plain wood.
And then suddenly, boom, bright pink.
It really stands out. We say it provides a pop of color.
A pop, yes.
We use the verb pop to describe a bright color that aggressively stands out against a plain or neutral background. You might say, that pink scarf really pops against your black coat.
It immediately draws the human eye. It adds a sense of vitality to the whole room.
Vitality, meaning life, energy, vigor.
It keeps this stark white workspace from feeling completely sterile.
Sterile, like a hospital operating room.
Right. Without the fruit and the flowers, this desk might look like a cold scientific lab. But with the pink flowers, it looks warm. It looks like a real home.
Okay, we have just done a massive deep dive into all the individual objects on this desk.
We have.
But to truly master English descriptions, it isn't enough just to know the nouns. We need to master how to describe the empty space between the objects.
You mean the grammar of location? We need to talk about prepositions.
Prepositions. Honestly, prepositions are an absolute nightmare for English learners. Words like in, on, at, by, over, under.
They are notoriously tricky because they frequently change based on subtle context.
But let's play a little interactive game to help solidify them for our listeners today.
I love a game. How does it work?
I will simply ask you where a specific object is on this desk, and I want you to describe its location by explaining its physical relationship to another object.
I'm ready. Test me.
Okay. Where are the headphones?
The headphones are next to the laptop. Next to. You could also say they are beside the laptop. Both are purple.
Or if we were writing a very formal report, we could say the headphones are adjacent to the laptop.
Adjacent. A-D-J-A-C-E-N-T. Adjacent to. That's a great high-level professional word. It implies two things are immediate neighbors touching the same border.
Excellent. Okay, next round. Where's the coffee mug?
Well, the coffee is sitting directly on the desk. It is resting flat on the white surface. But if we want to describe it relative to the headphones.
Yes, relative to the headphones.
Then it is to the right of the headphones.
To the right of. Good, clear, directional language. Now, what about the wooden fruit bowl?
The fruit bowl is in the foreground.
Oh, in the foreground. That is a great photography term. Let's explain foreground versus background.
The foreground is the part of an image that is closest to the viewer or the camera lens. The background is the part furthest away.
So since this photo is taken from the front edge of the desk, the fruit bowl is very close to us. It is in the foreground.
You could also simply say it is in front of the magazines.
In front of. Good. And where exactly are the magazines?
The magazines are stacked on the right side of the desk.
Stacked on. And the vase of flowers.
The vase is perched on top of the stack of magazines.
Perched. P-E-R-C-H-E-D. Perched. I love that word. We usually use perched to describe a bird, right? Like a bird perched on a narrow branch.
Yes. We use perched in everyday English when an object is sitting resting on a somewhat high or narrow edge. It creates this lovely, delicate visual image of balance. It implies it could easily fall if bumped.
And finally, for our game, where's the natural light coming from?
The light is streaming in from the window on the right.
Streaming in. That phrase suddenly gives the light a sense of active movement. It feels alive, like water in a stream.
Exactly. Describing the spatial relationships between objects using accurate prepositions helps you paint a truly dynamic picture in someone's mind.
It stops being just a boring list of nouns like pen, paper, desk, and it starts being a full scene.
Right. Saying the pen is next to the paper, which is directly under the lamp, creates a 3D map in the listener's imagination.
Okay, game over. You passed.
Thank you.
So we have discussed the objects, we have practiced the grammar of location, but at the start of the show, we promised the listener we would talk about the vibe.
The vibe, the overall atmosphere, the mood of the room.
I am going to throw 4 specific English adjectives at you that I personally think describe this workspace perfectly. I want you to tell me if you agree and help me unpack the subtle nuance of each word.
Hit me with them. I am ready.
Adjective number 1, aesthetic.
Oh, aesthetic. That is undeniably the slang word of the decade. Everyone online says, oh, that is so aesthetic.
But what does it actually mean to say a desk is aesthetic?
Well, historically in academia, aesthetics is the serious branch of philosophy dealing with the nature of art and beauty.
Right. But teenagers on the internet aren't talking about philosophy.
No. In modern social media slang, when we say a room or a photo is aesthetic, we mean it is highly visually pleasing and stylistically consistent.
Consistent. I think that is the key word. The colors match perfectly. The shapes complement each other. Nothing clashes.
Right. In modern slang, aesthetic often just means it is very Instagrammable. It looks perfect for a photo. Yeah. And this desk is definitely aesthetic.
Okay, adjective number 2.
Productive.
Productive. Does looking at this space make you want to do work? Honestly, it does, but not in a panicked, stressed out way.
I agree completely. It feels very conducive to work.
Conducive. C-O-N-D-U-C-I-V-E. That is an excellent advanced phrase. Conducive to.
It means that a specific environment provides the perfect right conditions for something to happen easily. The total lack of messy clutter on this desk is highly conducive to deep focus.
Adjective number 3, balanced.
Balanced. Yes, we touched on this a bit earlier. The visual balance between the organic, natural things like the fruit and flowers and the cold, digital things like the laptop.
It is visually balanced, but I also think it represents a lifestyle balance, a balance between hard work and soft self-care.
That is very true. The open laptop aggressively says work hard, but the warm coffee and the fresh fruit say take care of yourself, take a breath. It feels like a very mentally healthy balance.
And finally, adjective number 4. Serene.
So serene, S-E-R-E-N-E, serene. That is a beautiful word. It is a big step above just saying peaceful.
Oh, so what is the difference between peaceful and serene?
Well, peaceful usually just means quiet, not noisy, not violent. A library is peaceful.
Okay.
But serene implies a majestic, perfectly untroubled calm. It almost has a spiritual quality to it, like looking at a perfectly flat lake at sunrise.
A serene workspace. I think that is the ultimate dream for most of us.
It absolutely is. Because the reality is most of us have incredibly chaotic workspaces.
Chaotic, that is the exact opposite of serene.
Yes. Chaotic means totally disorganized, loud, messy, highly stressful. This curated photograph we're looking at is a direct visual antidote to modern chaos.
You know, talking so deeply about this photo today makes me realize something important about learning English.
Oh, what is that?
I realize how much our physical environment actually shapes our ability to learn a language.
How do you mean?
Well, if you listening right now are trying to study English vocabulary in a messy, chaotic, noisy room, Your brain is going to struggle. It's hard to focus.
That is very true.
But if you take 10 minutes to clear your desk, create a serene little corner for yourself. Put on your noise-canceling headphones with some quiet music.
You are actively setting yourself up for success because you are physically lowering your cognitive load.
Cognitive load. Let's explain that term.
Cognitive load refers to the total amount of mental effort being used in your brain's working memory at any given time.
Like a computer's RAM.
Exactly. If your brain is subconsciously fighting to ignore visual distractions and clutter on your desk, you literally have less brain power left available to memorize new English vocabulary.
So what you are saying is that simply cleaning your messy desk might actually help you learn English faster.
I firmly believe that. Cleaning your workspace clears the path for your mind.
That is a tremendously powerful takeaway for our learners today.
It is. Now, before we officially wrap up the show, let's do a quick lightning round review. We covered a massive amount of linguistic ground today.
We really did. Let's pick our absolute top 5 power words from this session. 5 words that will instantly make our listeners sound more fluent and professional.
Okay, I will list them out.
Go for it.
Number 1, curated, meaning not just chosen, but very carefully and thoughtfully selected.
Number 2, minimalist, meaning not just an empty space, but a space intentionally free of clutter and visual friction.
Number 3, tactile, meaning something that relates strongly to the physical sense of touch and texture.
Number 4, biophilic, the human love of nature and the practice of bringing the outdoors inside to lower stress.
And number 5, aesthetic, meaning highly visually pleasing and stylistically consistent.
Let's hear them all together. Curated, minimalist, tactile, biophilic, aesthetic.
I guarantee if you use those 5 words together in a sentence, you will sound like a highly paid design expert.
Let me try. Let's see. I have a curated minimalist workspace with tactile elements and a beautiful biophilic aesthetic.
Wow, you sound very expensive.
That's not expensive.
Oh.
And very, very smart.
And honestly, that is the goal of this show.
Now, to bring this entire lesson home, let's try to describe the image one last time, but fluently. We have spent an hour breaking it into tiny pieces. Now let's smoothly put it back together.
Okay. Here is the full advanced description of the photograph. We are looking at a serene, minimalist home office bathed in natural light. A silver laptop sits on a pristine, clean white desk, displaying bold typography suggesting a creative professional hard at work. Next to the laptop, beige noise-canceling headphones wait patiently to provide focus. The entire scene is beautifully softened by organic, natural touches. There is a tactile ceramic mug of artisan coffee with delicate latte art, a wooden bowl full of fresh berries, and a neat stack of indie magazines gracefully topped with a vase of pink flowers, adding a bright pop of life to this highly disciplined workspace.
That was absolutely beautiful. It flowed perfectly together.
Thank you. It is all about smoothly connecting those strong nouns with highly descriptive adjectives and accurate prepositions.
Now, before we go, we have a quick challenge for you, the listener.
Yes. We always want you to actively apply what you learn here.
So we want you to look at your own immediate physical environment right now. Just look away from your phone screen for 1 second. Look at your table, your desk, or even your lap if you were riding on the train.
Just look around. What do you actually see?
But don't just lazily list the nouns in your head. Don't just say phone bag water.
No, push yourself harder. Try to describe the physical relationships. Say my phone is resting next to my water bottle.
Try to describe the materials using strong adjectives. Say my clear plastic bottle, my rough wooden table.
Try to describe the overall vibe of where you are right now. Is your room chaotic? Is it cozy and hidge? Is it strictly utilitarian?
Utilitarian. utilitarian. That means designed purely to be useful and practical rather than attractive.
Exactly.
Take a mental picture of your current workspace and try to write down 3 complete sentences about it in English using the advanced vocabulary we learned today.
If you can do that simple exercise, you have successfully turned passive podcast listening into active language learning.
This has been a really deeply refreshing deep dive.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel calmer just having spent the last hour talking slowly about this peaceful photo.
Me too. I think the moment we finish recording, I am going to go completely tidy up my own chaotic desk.
And I think I need to go buy some fresh pink flowers. Bring a little biophilic design into the recording studio.
It will definitely lower our cortisol levels.
It absolutely will. Well, thank you so much for slowing down and spending this time with us today. We genuinely hope this special session helped you see your own world and the English language in a slightly more beautiful, detailed way.
Keep looking closely. Keep describing what you see. And please keep practicing your vocabulary.
Thank you so much for listening today. Have a wonderful, highly productive, and deeply serene day. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.